Hello. How goes? Hello, everyone. It's time for stream. We're streaming, and it's time to stream. Y'all can hear me okay? I hope I double checked the volume, everything on my end, so it all should be good. Oh my gosh. Oh, you know what I didn't do is I didn't fill up my water, so I'll have to do that in a little while. But for now, I'll be okay. It's Sunday, my dudes. How's everybody's day going? Uh, we've already got some people in the chat. There's Trinket. We got Mabs, Arlo. Hello. Coffee Beans says, I swear Lux only streams when I'm practicing guitar. Listen, I stream. Aside from today being like 30 minutes late, I stream pretty consistently at the same times every week, which is a potential problem that I might fix. It's on my mind today. We might talk about it a little bit later. Got a little mix of doing good and doing bad in the chat. Uh-huh. Well, hope your day gets better, Trinket. Yeah, having a friend come over is always good. I'm like, oh, I miss my friend right now. My buddy who moved up here from Kansas late last year. I was like, man, we haven't seen friend in a while. And like, we're all just busy and working a lot and all that kind of shit. Are you saying our cycles synced? True. Yeah. Still very exhausted. Yeah, I made a mistake. And I mean, it was a fun mistake, I guess, but there are consequences. I got a game yesterday. Now, if you don't know, I don't buy games for myself super often, but my partner was talking about like redeeming a code for a game, and I was like, man, I haven't gotten a new game in a while. That's true. So looked on my Steam wish list, saw that a couple things were on sale. I got a game, and then I played it for 11 and a half hours. Far too much time playing a game on a Saturday. But I was like, listen, I'm having a lot of fun. It was a puzzle game, and I got really close to being finished with it yesterday. And then today was like, I'm just going to go ahead and get up on here again. I finished the game in the sense of like I got to the ending of the game, but I still have a couple of achievements left to get. So I still have some more to do in that. But yeah, I just like crashed through it in 13 hours. Was it Resident Evil Requiem? No, it was called the hold on, let me pull up my Steam. Come back to me. It's called Chants of Sennaar. Let's go to the store page so we can look at it. Yeah, it's a puzzle game. It's a puzzle adventure game. You play as a character called the Traveler on a quest to reunite the peoples of the tower. Yeah. And it's all about like it's a puzzle game that's all about like trying to decipher these symbols. And there's like there ultimately end up being like 5 different languages that you have to decode. Yeah, so that's the kind of basis of the puzzle is those grammar things and figuring out what the word means by context. Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. It was a good time. And it honestly, that has kind of made me wonder more and more about doing gaming content. Like I've kind of talked about it a little bit recently. There's only 17 of you here, so I know that you all are only the true mega fans. We have very, very few viewers today. I feel like normally it's a little bit higher, but maybe putting the word gaming in the title initially killed it, even though I took it out by now. Yeah. Because gaming and just chatting are like 2 different things, and I'm really curious why, but there's not enough people here to really like start getting a feel for why. Because I was going to ask your guys' opinions on like, do you watch gaming streamers? But continue to let people trickle in. What else has been going on this week? Oh, I mean, we've now had 1 full week with Mina, and DD is streaming. Yeah. It's rough sharing an audience with other people. It's like when Riverboat Jack streams, there's some overlap there, and when Dead Domain streams, there's overlap. And Dead Domain is like apparently much more affable and popular. So, shit happens. But see, I was even thinking about not streaming today. We got to make it worth it. We got to make it extra cozy if we're going to be, streaming on a day that we're tired. Because I stayed up late playing this game. That's the other thing about me buying this game yesterday, is that I went hard into it. One would have thought that trans would have had more of an impact than gaming. Well, maybe it's a double hitter. Maybe I did two things. Because I always put trans in the title. Like, as of the last few months, basically, it populates the same title every time, and I just kind of leave it on there. And I think that definitely attracts like trolls, but I think that in YouTube's attempt to attract trolls, they might also just use that word to push it out to a bigger audience, because the topic of trans is controversial. And keep in mind that this platform is not designed to make you happy. None of these algorithms are designed to make you happy. They're designed to keep you engaged. So even if you hate something, if it gets you engaging, see, this is the thing, on the line, when we kept bringing in callers like Andrew over and over again, it's like, yes, people hate it, but people were also very vocal in the chat about how much they hated it. And that's why it always boosted our numbers. Like, the hate interaction is something that boosts the platform, which is so weird. What's up, Sabrina? Hello. Ancom Jane. I did my duty, shared and liked like a good clown. Do I get another squirty flower? See, the thing is, it has to be an intermittent reward system. That's how you keep them hooked. It can't be every time. Maybe at first you can give the treat every time, but it really gets you in the habit the best if it's only every once in a while. So we need some escapism from worldly events. Yeah, the algorithm seems designed to sell me boats these days. That's always so fun. Yeah, the like random things that it'll decide to serve you sometimes. But yeah, needing escapism from worldly events, I definitely feel that. I am definitely reaching one of those kind of burnout points where I just feel like there's nothing really that I can do about what's on the internet. Like, I kind of feel like I need, I don't know, some kind of like cleanse, and then like maybe start over from scratch. Like, do I need to just take like a 3-week vacation, and that includes like not getting on any social media for 3 weeks or something? I mean, I can't take a full vacation, like, because I'm needed at the line and everything. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, how do you get your priorities on straight when like it's addictive to be paying attention to what's happening in the news, but like also knowing that you're kind of just stressing yourself out and that you can't reasonably help with any of the things that are happening? And then being like, I want to do things locally, but then also feeling super like just stressed and burned out all the time because of all the online engagement, in a way that makes it hard to go do any in-person stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I'm in one of those spaces of trying to figure out how in the world to like stay informed, partially because it's my job, not necessarily with streaming anymore, but with the line. And, it's still probably good for me to record videos and post them on my channel, aside from just posting clips from the line all the time. Like, I probably should make a video about the Kansas driver's license thing. Like, I don't know what to say except this is fucked up. And like, there's nobody you can call at this point because the law passed, like, I guess you could, I don't know, do judges, if a judge takes up the case, like, oh yeah, you can, I guess, like, because the ACLU is suing the state of Kansas on behalf of 2 trans men with regards to the bathroom part of the law that stripped them of their driver's licenses. So you can sometimes write letters in support of a court case, like in support of whoever, like, is that called an amicus brief? Amicus brief? Or like a letter from a friend to the court or something. I don't know. It's been a while since I watched fucking, who is that? It wasn't even Legal Eagle. It was before Legal Eagle. Leonard French Copyright lawyer. Oh boy. Coffee Bean says, I found that forced algorithm resets have done me wonders. It gets to a point where I'm being nonstop inundated with stuff that's very serious. And then it gets to a point where it's affecting my mental health. So I start purposely searching out trivial content that makes me happy. And I interact with that a bunch. Yeah, but like the fact that it goes between really positive stuff and really negative stuff, like even the positive stuff is the problem that I'm having is with time management and with the fact that I'm using this as a way to like soothe my anxiety. Sometimes I'll be like I'll get done with couples therapy and I'll like immediately get on social media, or like I don't know. I'll get done doing something that kind of stresses me out and then I'll immediately hop on there, and it's a way of like self-soothing from like I don't know, feeling a sense of control or just getting like a very specific kind of chemical feedback from the behavior. So, yeah, it's like, but I think that it's like really debilitating as far as how much time it takes up in my life. So, yeah, I've got like I need to start like implementing some pretty hardcore changes, but it's not the kind of thing that you can implement hardcore changes about. It's one of those things where you just have to replace the behavior with something else that's more productive and takes less of your time and energy. Yeah, like if you've ever tried to stop a compulsive behavior such as like biting your nails or picking your skin, it's really difficult to just stop doing those things because it's like a self-soothe of some kind. You're doing something to it, like is doing something for you, or otherwise you wouldn't be doing it compulsively. So you have to replace it with another behavior. So I am like a compulsive social media user. Like it cures boredom, prevents me from, being bored. It helps distract me from anxiety, and there's the information seeking part. So here's kind of like my broad game plan with this. And I want to go ahead and like write it down because I feel like that'll just give it more solidity. Does this paper have any blank spots on it? Nope, it doesn't. That is a note paper. Does anybody else have like note papers on their desk where it's like, oh, you've written a bunch of little tiny notes on it, and like it's an envelope or something, you got like an envelope on your desk that you just kind of keep notes on. My broad kind of thought process around how to deal with like an addictive, compulsive social media situation. And I'm just going to talk this out loud so that you guys, if you want to contribute any ideas, I'm so on board for it. But Byron, be safe on the road. I appreciate you hanging out. Have a good drive. Because I'm assuming that you all struggle with this as well, I've started getting "Are you new in this country?" ads because I set up my home network to VPN everything to Ireland to avoid the new ID law. Damn. That's pretty funny, actually. What's the poll about? The poll is just a way for me to like have a consistent reminder through the stream for people who come in. Like you immediately get prompted to like and share the stream. And sometimes I just put like a little third option in there for fun. And in this case, I used all capitals when I put "Are you?" And so the response is like I surprised you by yelling at you as soon as you got in here. It's just a silly thing. But yeah, it's just to prompt you to like and share as soon as you come in here, because sometimes I forget to say something out loud, even though saying it out loud as a call to action is much more effective. So check that out. Anyway, replace social media with in-person things. Well, okay, so that is kind of an end goal with this. And you're on the right track, Jane, with like that's what I also want to do. So I do want to do in-person things more, but it's not a suitable replacement for something that is soothing my anxiety and boredom. Going to a place in person is definitely going to be an anxiety behavior. Like it's going to cause me a lot of anxiety. And so I will need to do that in a way where hopefully I get a lot more out of it than the anxiety. So, like, I have a plan for like going to a group soon to like try to make some friends in person. Um, but that is not a replacement for like something that I reach for when I am anxious about like a conversation I have to have with someone, or like if I feel like I just did something embarrassing or awkward or whatever. So I got tiny little notebooks and put them all over. So yeah, for have places to take notes everywhere. That's a good call. I had to delete cold turkey a lot of social media, specifically Facebook. It was making me a very angry person. Quantum chaos. I'm glad that I'm not the only person struggling with this, but yeah, I appreciate that it's tough. And I do that. I periodically like delete things off my phone, especially, but then I'll be like, "Oh, well, I want to like download pictures of my cat or something to Facebook, and I don't want to go through all the extra steps of like uploading it through the cloud and then getting it on my computer and then posting it on my computer. Like maybe that's a good barrier to have in place, but it gets annoying. So I download it back on my phone and then it's on my phone again and I'm checking like the notifications and like, it pretty much immediately falls apart. So maybe my thing is like I just need to immediately delete it again after I just immediately delete it after I upload the pictures. I don't know. One of the things that I'm planning on doing is damn, where was I going to start with this? So for the information seeking part, to me there is like a component where I'm like scrolling, and there's two different things that I do where I'm like scrolling because there's a bunch of news and I want to know what's happening. So I think to replace that, because of the nature of things being like endless scrolling and there's like it'll just keep loading new things for you forever, is getting back into an RSS feed. I used to do Google RSS and I'm so fucking upset. Like I was very upset back at the time when they got rid of it. So I kind of want to look into getting an RSS feed again. Therefore, there is a sort of finishing mark, like a time where you're done with the catching up on posts and it doesn't just keep loading things forever. So RSS feed for that like information seeking aspect, it might require being on social media for a little while to like figure out who you can follow off of social media. Like, oh, it would be really critical for me to see things from this account that I followed. Do they have an RSS feed for their Substack or whatever? And then join up and get that in your subs box, basically. Who else is tired as hell of America right now? Yeah, I know that the whole thing with Iran, I just don't have any commentary about it. I have absolutely nothing I can say about it. I'm not a foreign policy person. I'm not going to try to assert an opinion when like the only opinion that I really have is like war bad, imperialism bad, negotiation and diplomacy good. Sorry for the slurping. My water is empty. I'll have to fill it again in a second. So RSS feed is one. That's a big one. And along with that, I have a tendency to Google medical questions. And not just medical questions, but like I'm trying to figure out exactly what's the correct thing to do with my exercise regimen. So I'm like, okay, well, how much rest should I take between sets? If I'm doing dysautonomia training and not strength training, like I am doing strength training, but I can't do things like push to fatigue and stuff like that because that will make my symptoms worse. So like I'm exercising for a very specific health reason. And so some of those like things I've internalized about strength training, I have to fundamentally change what I'm doing. So I'm like Googling that kind of shit. So, and then I'll get stuck in like a rabbit hole of medical questions because I have like weird chronic health symptoms that I'm still in the process of figuring it out. But that takes up a lot of time, obviously. And so what I'm going to do with that instead is where is it? I have I think it got knocked on the floor. I have a, what in the fuck are these called? Post-it notes. I have a Post-it note pad that I'm going to write down, the things that I want to Google. Like if I have a question that I'm like, I have the urge to go Google medical questions or whatever, I'm just going to write it down on the Post-it note instead. Post it instead of Google. Which is to say, I will Google it later, but I'm not just going to do it like compulsively, right? And like give myself a reward. Because that's like psychologically what's happening is like, I have a question, I have the urge to go check, and then I go check and I find out the answer. And like, not only does that resolve the question that I have, but it also creates a reward for the behavior of having a bunch of anxious fucking questions. So that's the thing that I'm doing. I'm telling you this because maybe it will help some of you. That's not the extent of the plan, but those are the main things. And I'm going to read some chat that I just missed out on. I've seen a lot of trans creators leave social media, so the trans stream titles actually got me to click on the streams originally. Yeah, I think I probably will always include trans in the description of this show. This show, at least, you know? I don't know how front and center. I mean, I guess it's going to be fairly front and center on Musing Moss because a lot of the stuff that I intend to do is media about queer stuff. So, anyway, walks are good exercise. Yeah, walks would be good exercise, except that I have orthostatic intolerance, and so I'm doing all recumbent exercise right now. But I look forward to being able to more easily take walks again. Especially because I think that we're going to have an early spring here in the valley. Let's see. Last time I opened Instagram, I accidentally ended up scrolling absently for like 5 minutes before getting severely triggered and spent an hour or so sobbing. Yeah, the internet is, sometimes it's got a lot of bullshit on there. Hi, Kitty Tick. Thank you so much for your contribution here. Lots of paragraphs, with lots of wisdom. I've been doing a balancing act. I watch a few small shows that cover the news. I read between 4 to 7 news articles a day. I try to spend most of my time listening to audiobooks and do something useful. Lots of small woodworking projects. My left hand is seriously attempting to give up doing its job as a body part, still waiting to hear from the rheumatologist. What's up, Bloody Hatter? Cool, good to see you. Let's see. OMG, it's Intimate Bassist. Hello. Yeah, I want to spend more time, like I want to have more time to spend on like my hobbies and on, you know, like this like kind of sort of video essay thing that I'm trying to do, which I've fallen behind on that again. Yeah, like I definitely feel like, yeah, I do have chronic health issues and I'm tired all the time. And so reaching for social media is like energy conserving in some ways, but it's also just like mentally exhausting, I think. And it could be making shit worse in that way. And like, I would love to have more time to have the creativity to go, what's an art project I actually want to do? Queer stuff equals fun stuff. So true. I enjoy that being injured always forces me to create new methods to accomplish a goal. I found giving up on social media and tempering how much time I spend on YouTube has done more for my mental health than any other in 5 years of therapy. Also started painting again and making little gifts for my loved ones. It feels really good to make someone something that is specific to them. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so this is if you don't already have a New Year's resolution for 2026, I agree with Kitty. She says, I recommend people spend 2026 learning how to make something new. It will balance the negative effects of the news while also giving you, and then she got cut off. So yeah, it's about giving you, it's building mastery, you know? Ooh, maybe I said RSS feed, maybe / ground news. Maybe I'll check out ground news and like, because they're supposed to, you know, you said you read between 4 to 7 news articles, and I'm like, well, how do you choose? How do you know which ones are like biased or like not giving you the full story? So then it occurred to me like, oh yeah, ground news exists for that exact purpose. Faulty says the annoyance is what I use from browsing social media. It's now sequestered to a single browser only on my desktop, and credentials aren't saved, so it takes a bit of work to get in. Yeah, literally creating barriers, making it more difficult for yourself to get on it is a big deal. And like I was really considering for a little bit getting one of those Chrome apps that's like blocks websites, but like the app itself needs permission to tell what websites you're going to, and I'm like, I don't necessarily trust that whoever developed this has like robust enough security for that information to be like given to a third party. So I don't know. Ooh, I'm going back to the art of making chainmail this year. It's repetitive and very calming. Plus, I get to claim to be an armorer. I really like the idea of making chainmail jewelry or like small items. But yes, chainmail is very fucking cool. Much appreciation for the crafters. Do you rivet your chainmail or just, what is it called? A butter closure? Congrats, Bloody Hatter. I hope that you have an easy time getting on HRT. Hi, Ember. Hobbies in this economy? Yeah, listen. I recently went to like a closing out store. Like there was a store that had craft supplies and it was kind of going out of business or whatever, or they were closing that location or something, and they were selling a lot of their product, and so I got like a bunch of cheap oil paints and cheap watercolor and like watercolor paper and stuff. Uh so, and like joining Facebook groups, because sometimes people will be like, I'm getting rid of like these art supplies or whatever, and it's a fraction of the price that they were originally or even for free. So, there is a way to get hobbies going in this economy. There's a way. Fuzzy Logic says, one thing to note about the Iran thing, the MAGA chuds have started citing how terrible the Ayatollah was as justification for Trump assassinating him. So I'm sure that line will come up on a call on the line if it hasn't already. Yeah, I'm not going to be on again until Thursday. So, man, it's March. Hey, happy March. It's my birthday month. Hey, I need to change this. This is on February still. I need to really just like, I'm thinking about all kinds of things that I want to change. Like, I'm like, is this background still good? How much longer before I feel like I can start standing up in every stream again? Because, like, I definitely started getting, feeling like I was too tired to do that. So now I'm sitting down whenever I stream. And so then, like, everything is shifted. I need to, like, move these shelves down if I'm going to continue with that. And, like, move this calendar around and shit. So, I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, but I'm not on again until Thursday, so I wonder if some other crazy bullshit will have happened between now and then, so I don't even get a chance to talk about Iran on the politics shows that we do. Depression hates a moving target. Best 5 words I've heard this decade, possibly. Hey, that's a good one. Depression hates a moving target. Damn. I found using a program like OneNote is actually kind of great. What is OneNote? I haven't heard of this one before. Microsoft OneNote, take notes anywhere for free. I try to treat questions and quote news as exercise and not a pastime. I write all of my questions and want to know this thing in OneNote organized by date, and then actually write what it is I learn or find out as supplementary notes. It's like mixing journaling with knowledge gathering. IDK, if that works for you. Ooh, that's a really interesting concept, because that's another thing that okay, so I'm curious how if anybody else processes this way. Later, Mabs. Good night. So I feel like I see a lot of very good tips and educational tidbits on socials. Like Facebook is one that I scroll pretty often, and like I see a lot of what seems like really valuable like parenting advice. And like little medical hot tips and like little tricks on how to stretch, like how to physically stretch your body, like a little bit of sort of physical therapy type content. I don't know how much of it I actually retain. Like, how often in a day do I see something and I go, "Oh, that's really good to know," and then but like I don't remember it. So I've kind of wondered about that, where I'm like, I, it feels like I'm getting new information, but if I'm mostly not remembering that information, then like how useful is any of that going to be to me later? Like, if I have a kid later, and am I going to remember like what I saw some TikTok mom say, like on a repost to Facebook? I don't know. So I like that idea of like doing the post it instead of Google, but also write down the answer. Okay, that's hot tip. That's a hot tip. Zalbar, hello. Welcome in. I don't want to just jump subject immediately, but I'm really glad that it's March. I'm like, I'm ready for springtime. I'm ready for it to start getting warmer. I don't hate winter here. Winter here is okay. It didn't even really snow though, so I'm like, okay, it's not even real winter. You're just gonna be like a little bit chilly and kind of like cloudy all the time. You know, rolling my eyes. What? I think I had some other ideas of like, I saw something that was like, if you do a puzzle that has or maybe like a puzzle game that has a clear beginning and end point, if you're hitting social media for the sake of like just like focusing your attention in a way that makes your anxiety go down, then doing like a puzzle that has a quick end point. My problem with that is that I've been doing like Picross lately, but the Picross game that I have, it just immediately goes to the next puzzle when you finish one. So it's more like it does get you stuck in a loop. At least I get stuck. So I'm like, is there some other kind of like puzzle game or something that I could play and it'll be a more clear like one full level? Like maybe the level should take a little bit longer and then there's a definitive endpoint and it doesn't immediately boot me into the next puzzle. Or maybe is this where the place is for people who like do Wordle because it's only one puzzle a day, or like how people used to get a daily newspaper and there would be like one daily crossword per day? I guess that kind of makes sense. Do I need to subscribe to something that gives me one self-contained puzzle per day? See, that's what I mean, Trinket, though, is like the problem with a Sudoku book is that I will just continue to the next one. I'm ready for weather I can sit out and read under a tree in. That's so true. Writing things by hand has a few studies showing it's better for memory recall compared to typing. Anecdotally, it definitely works for me. Just got a stack of 20 more notebooks for my quote external memory shell. True. It's spring now on the Oregon coast to join us. Listen, it's definitely like pretty warm in the valley compared to, and like, so I feel like I shouldn't complain too much because I've only been away from home for a year. But in Kansas, it's like 0 degrees. It's like not super pleasant. 0 Fahrenheit, by the way, which is less than 0 C. Ready for storm chasing? Hell yeah. I know it's up to personal fiat, but when it comes to honorifics like sir or ma'am, is there one you prefer? Do you or chat have any snazzy gender neutral alternatives? I so I have numerous different thoughts on this topic. First of all, in Star Trek, everyone gets called sir, except for when Captain Janeway is specifically like, no, 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 I don't like it being called sir. You'll call me ma'am. And then people do, you know, good stuff. But so I do take like a little bit of an approach that sir can be a gender neutral or like universal honorific. But I feel like either one of these, sir or ma'am, exist for me in a kind of jokey space. Like if anyone were to use either one to me in a serious way, it would hit different than if they were hitting it in a silly way. But you can, if you're like wanting to stay on that kind of tone but not worry about misgendering, then like captain is a fun one. My liege, amusing. I don't know. I don't have like strong opinions on it. And as I was explaining to some people in a group chat recently, I'm like, I decided a long time ago that all of the gendered words belong to me, in that I'm allowed to use whatever gendered words I want. And usually if it's something that I have just called myself, I don't mind other people. Like if I say like, don't anger mother in the polls, like sometimes the poll in the YouTube chat, sometimes the third answer is like, no, I didn't, like I made mother angry. It's like if you were to then refer to me as mother to play along with that joke, then I would not be upset. But yeah, alternatives to Mr. or Miss. Usually what people use as the alternative is called, it's pronounced either mix or mux, but it's abbreviated MX dot instead of like Ms. or Mr. or whatever. We have a bot in chat. I almost said Your Majesty, and then I was like, I'll pull it back a little bit this time. Is there a troll in the chat or a bot? What's going on here? I don't understand the gender thing. There is male and female. Anyone explain what is so complicated about that? I mean, do you want an actual answer to that question? Because I can give you like a 5-minute explainer on why male and female are very broad categories with a lot of overlap. It's like it's far from simple, just from strictly a biological perspective. And when you get away from the strictly biological perspective, it gets more complicated because of the fact that there is an entire social dynamic that we impose on people based on their perceived biological sex. So, I mean, like how many different, at this point in my career, how many different intersex conditions can I just remember off the top of my head? I'm not intersex. So, or at least I don't know. I think I might have a difference of sex development, but I haven't ever gotten it checked out. I might. Like, I'm in the process of diagnosing all kinds of health issues this year, so I'm thinking about asking. But, what was I saying? Oh my gosh, I got distracted. Swyer syndrome, Turner syndrome, androgen insensitivity syndrome, partial androgen insensitivity syndrome. Swyer's, Turner's. De La Chapelle is another one. So that's just 5 off the top of my head. Those are like 5 different intersex conditions off the top of my head. Chimerism, I don't know if there's a different word for chimerism, but buy a cool puzzle, set a 30-minute timer, work at it every day. There actually is a puzzle out in the living room right now. It's another one that's like, maybe I will have to set a timer. Maybe I should set a timer and be like, I'll work on it for 30 minutes because it's hard. I will just sit there and work on it for like hours. But yeah, Myrtle.com, that's a hot tip. I used to buy my younger sibling Myrtle books for the purposes of just kind of helping them develop some more like thinking skills, like let's think outside the box kind of things. I didn't know that Myrtle also had a like daily puzzle, because that's fucking cool. So I opened a tab for that, and I'll make sure to check it out more later. Thank you so much for that recommendation. Lovely Luna says, hi, just joined the stream to say thank you. I've seriously loved listening to the debates. Can't wait to see the next ones. Hell yeah. Awesome. My plan is basically, if I can keep it up, I want to try to just do like one debate video getting posted to the channel per week. I might sometimes supplement a second upload of like an advice video, like if people want me to be posting the advice type calls. I don't think that those are going to really make as much money, but some people think that they're useful, so I'm considering it. But yeah, so my plan is at least one video per week on the channel of the debate clips. So I hope that you guys are enjoying those. And I'm doing more, like I want to do more besides that, but that's kind of the just sort of regular, let's pay the bills kind of stuff, just regular uploads. I came to hit like. I'm too burned out after this weekend. Hang out. Take care, everyone. Good night. Have fun. I call my non-binary friends Mon Capitan, which I naturally stole from Q in TNG. True. Colonel, also a good one. There's a lot of science to that. This thing of involving your whole body in creating a memory, using your sense of touch, sense of sight, and often smell can be involved as well. If you take the time to say what you are writing out loud, you've now involved 4 of the 5 senses. I used to study for tests while eating fresh baked cookies. I would have a cookie on my desk during the test. Ooh, okay, creating some little associations. That's nice. I like that. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this on Wednesday last week. I think I forgot, but you guys know Surus. He's a not streamer. I don't think he's a streamer, actually. Maybe he does, but he posts videos, and he got a bunch of creators to submit a video this past week to respond to some dude called King Critical. I don't know if you guys know King Critical, but he posted a video that like, it was like 10 reasons why trans isn't valid. And Surus was like, I would love to get some trans people and allies to each cover one of these 10 reasons. And I chose one of those reasons. So I got to do a little 10-minute video for Surus. So that'll be uploaded, I think, soon. I'll post it on my page. And I guess if you guys want me to post it in the Discord server as well. But it's basically like the part where he was like, so it turns out that biological sex is the entire definition for women. And, you know, sometimes trans activists will say, well, sex is a complicated feature and not everyone that you're calling a woman has all of those features. And so they're trying to make biological sex look like a less firm foundation for the definition of woman so that they can weasel their way in or whatever. And I made a 10-minute video responding to it. By the way, is there more stuffs in the treasure box? No, I don't actually have a goal this week for the treasure box. I mean, the goal is still, like, ideally, I mean, in a perfect world, we get at least $100 every stream, which if you break it down is like, you know, I stream twice a week, so $200 a week from stream donations, but I don't have a goal today because I'm fucking tired, and the stream is probably going to be a little bit short, so I don't have anything in the treasure chest. I wasn't really planning on flexing or anything. I guess if you really want me to, I can. But yeah. Oh, also the space over here where the treasure chest usually is, Mina jumped up on it while we were streaming Takis this week. I think that she was not viewable by the audience because we were in the 2-person mode where it gets cropped in a little close. But she jumped up there. And so I was like, ooh, if I take the treasure chest off of it, maybe she will lie down up there. Because I am not yet ready to like pick her up and make her be on camera. Like she's only been here for a week and I don't want to stress her out. And like there's a big giant light right in her face and everything. So there are pictures of my new cat, Mina. She's a long-haired, pretty little tabby piebald cat. Her tail was just barely in frame. That's so funny. But yeah, if you want to pitch me $1 a month on Patreon, that's where I'm going to be posting lots of cat pictures.
Coffee Beans has donated $30. Lux, you're the real treasure.
Thank you. Oh, also, I'm hoping to do some more videos, like uh, maybe like videos of her playing, like little short videos of her playing, and that will be posted on like the $3 tier on my Patreon, as well as like I do a like a vlog every couple of months, and sometimes I post videos early over there on Patreon. So yeah, there are things that you can get over there. But yes, I do have a new cat. Yeah, she's pretty adorable. She's kind of perfect. I think she's great. I specifically put Tetris on my phone to interrupt anxiety attacks. Yeah, I have used Tetris recently because it is, I don't know, like I'm not sure how much it helps for just general anxiety, but the fact that I know that it helps for CPTSD is like, or I don't know, for CPTSD, I guess it's only really been tested on PTSD, but the fact that it can help with that means, you know, and I get tired of playing it after like 10 minutes. So I get like the benefit out of it. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I'm done. Maybe Tetris. Maybe I should do Tetris more often. Anyway, let me get off of here. That's making my face super white. Get out of here. By the way, you and Jack have a great energy together. Thank you. I had a lot of fun. If you guys didn't know, I streamed on Takis with Riverboat Jack for the first time last week. We hosted together, and it was a lot of fun. And we do not have one single time that we're streaming together in March. It just happened that way with the schedule. I have like one where I'm going to be on with Ben, one where I'm going to be on with Josie. What else is the schedule this month? It's March now, so we're in March. So, oh, I'm only on twice this month. So yeah, in a given month, I can only be on with 2 other hosts. So, because there's 4 of us and they're trying to give us 2 shows each a month. So yeah, I'm on with Ben and with Josie, and I don't have any other shows with Riverboat Jack unless maybe Josie or Ben is sick one of those days. But yeah, we had a lot of fun. I think we had a good like energy of like letting each other kind of take turns, and it was actually kind of weird for me because I guess I didn't expect Riverboat Jack to like be spicier than I was, but she definitely was a little bit spicier than I was feeling, at least. Maybe I just like I take longer to ramp up to the spiciness. Someone going, well, actually, the left tries to say sex isn't a binary by providing proof that sex isn't a binary is just a fantastic argument, Lamau. Yeah, I don't want to give it all away because I do want to encourage you guys to watch the video with Surus. But yeah, there's a whole lot of I want to have my cake and eat it too in that segment from King Critical that I just think is fucking silly. So. Leader coffee beans. Spicy Lux is iconic. Listen, I feel like you earn it, right? Like, I don't just come out being spicy. I've also noticed that some other hosts will like throw out spicy comments, but in like a chill tone of voice. And they'll do it like before I feel the conversation has gotten to a level of like using spicy language. So yeah, I feel like I'm like really trying to have a productive conversation for as long as I can. And then I'm like, oh my fucking God. So I don't know. Hopefully people enjoy. I'd always love some advice. I started my transition just over a year ago and I could definitely still use some tips. Yeah. It is hard to give other people advice, especially because I've been out for like 16, 17 years. But I mean, especially in this day and age when so many of our things that we give each other as far as advice goes are like safety oriented. So, like try to do things that are going to make you feel happy and don't worry so much about the labels, but also I don't want to give people advice that's just like, do whatever you want that's going to make you happy, and don't take into account like who might take issue with that around you, because there is a physical danger aspect of it that I just feel like there's no good way to give advice on it at this point. Just, do what you can to live as happy as you can. That's, the bottom line anyway. What surprised me is that Jack has been a solo streamer for so long, but slipped into 2-ups so smoothly. Listen, I feel like I slipped into 2-ups relatively smoothly, even though I was a solo streamer. But, I mean, I think it's just that you're good at talking as a streamer. That's one of the great things about that skill set. Like, I don't think we as frequently get people who are primarily video essayists who then come on and can hold their own well in a conversational debate show type thing, right? Like, I think it's mostly just a skill of being able to respond. And honestly, like what we do as, hosts on the line and stuff, or no, sorry, separately, me as a solo streamer and Jack as a solo streamer, what we do is not only do we talk, but we are live responding to chat, and we're coming up with something quick on the spot to respond on chat. So it kind of seems like that sort of conversational nature of the just chatting type of streams, it does lend itself to being able to react in real time to like a live conversation. Sometimes I feel your tolerance level is a tad high with certain people who are obviously being assholes, but not often. Fair enough. Fair enough. Did you do an actual debate, or are you just talking about the line stuff? Yeah, I'm just talking about the line stuff because, somebody was like, oh, I've been appreciating the debate videos recently. And I have done like quote unquote actual debate before. Maybe you guys weren't around for it. It was in 2023, I want to say. Yeah, I think it was in like the summer of 23. I did a debate that I was not expecting to be 5 versus 1. I knew that there were going to be a few other people there, but I thought that it was going to be more even. And the topic was, are trans people subject to a genocide in America? And somehow, I don't know how this happened. I don't know if it was a deliberate setup. I can't even remember the name of the guy who like facilitated it. It was a cis guy who brought on 6 trans people to his stream to debate on this topic. But then he ended up, or wait, was it fewer? I can't remember if it was 4 trans people and then the host, or if it was 5 trans people and then the host, because the host was also pushing back on my statements. So yeah, I fucking wiped the floor though. I was correct on every point, and nobody could really come up with very much to refute me. It was hilarious. And I think even if you were to say like, oh, I did a bad job. Well, guess what? I did a bad job defending myself against 5 people, including the moderator. So either 5 or 6 people. Was it Wick TV? I don't think so. I don't remember. Some cis dude who was unremarkable, and I don't think I've seen him since then. I like decided to unfriend him and stuff, and I was like, okay, never mind. Just gonna get the fuck out of here. I just woke up from one of those naps where you look at the clock and you can't tell if it's AM or PM. I had one of those when I was in high school. I came home from school and I took a nap, and I woke up at like 7 because my friend had called me, or it was like 7 or 8, something like that. And my friend called me and I was like, hey, what? Like, why aren't you at school? And they were like, are you okay? And I was like, oh, I just woke up from a nap. I guess it's 8 o'clock in the evening and not 8 o'clock in the morning. I know way too much about YouTube YouTube/Twitch poll. You just described like half the panel hosts. I mean, I don't even know if the guy still makes videos. Like, he was a super duper tiny creator at the time, and he could have changed usernames by now, and I would not possibly be able to recognize him. I would have to go pull up my video and see if he was on camera for that debate to even remember what he looks like, because I haven't even really thought about that guy in a few years. Like, I think it came up recently that I did a 5v1 debate, and I didn't even think about who facilitated it. Emma remembers. See? There are some of you who have been around since the dark days. Since the early stream lore. By the way, I finished Murtagh. Hell yeah. Also finished Paolini's 2 sci-fi novels. I have so many thoughts, it's painful. He's grown a lot as an author. I can see why many fans of the original books would struggle with the way the story was written. I think some people forget the deeper lore of Alagaësia. I personally was a big fan of it and quite enjoyed how it opened up the world for him to write more in several directions. I'm also glad he finally got to write about Murtagh, which is something he wanted pretty bad. Yeah, I think that there were originally supposed to be Murtagh chapters in the earlier books, but they got sidelined, and it ended up making sense. It kind of kept that character more mysterious for us. But his sci-fi is actually really well founded at this point, and I'm excited to see where he takes his universe. Okay, so I haven't actually read. It was 6-on-1, not 5-on-1, apparently, the debate. But yeah, I haven't listened to or read the 2 sci-fi novels from Paolini, but I don't know. Is it good? Like, I'm like cool with his fantasy stuff. I wasn't sure what made sense to do for, like, should I read his sci-fi? Like, it doesn't, am I gonna care about this just because it's written by the same guy? Or I don't know. I've basically just not cared, but maybe. I just got here. Hello, it's Trans Cat Dad. Useless question of the day. What word do you use for non-binary nieces and nephews? My partner uses the word nibblings, which I've adopted. Yeah, I basically nibblings. Will and his channel. Yes, Ember. It was Will and his channel. So just another fucking white guy. Might as well have been the title of his channel. But yeah, nibbling is the word that I use for nieces and nephews that are non-binary, or like a non-binary term for a group of nieces and nephews. I don't know, whatever. Is Will and his channel still around? Are Will and his channel still around? Niblets or nibblings? Niblets is a good one. I feel like my eyes are super dry today. I feel like my skin is super dry today too. You know what? Everything's super dry today because I haven't drank enough water. I'll be right back. Hold on. I'm just gonna switch this over. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. Okay, I'm back. Promised you I wasn't going to be gone for very long. Yeah, don't forget to rehydrate. Looks like Will's last upload was 2 years ago. Okay. So yeah, Jakandar says he tries to come back every 6 to 9 months with something and never gains traction, and then he dips again. He got really upset. His largest video was views more off his channel than on it, and it kind of changed him. He got way more dejected and sensitive about it. Yeah, unfortunately, you kind of have to just like not have a huge ego in if you're a small creator at least. H Mart is a dangerous place to go shopping while hungry. Yeah. I've mentioned to you guys like I've never been to Trader Joe's, and I guess there were some starting to crop up in Kansas City before I moved, but I had just never seen one or like never chanced to go to one. And I think of it as a West Coast thing. So I'm excited to eventually go to Trader Joe's, but I definitely want to do it when I've already eaten because it's got a lot of snacks. They've got a whole lot of snacks there. On liter 5 of the day, hydrate or despair. Wow. I was told to drink between 2 and 3 liters of water, and but I still don't have a specific diagnosis. That was just the doctor being like, yeah, that'll probably help some of your symptoms because even though I don't qualify as having POTS on the diagnostic criteria, I still have those symptoms. It might just be like a more generalized dysautonomia that doesn't rise to the level of POTS. That doesn't mean that I don't still have the same fundamental issues with blood volume and stuff. So yeah, we're working on it. If I called my nieces and nephews nibblings, they would probably think I'm hungry. Listen, play into it. Play into the joke. Be like, yeah, you never know when auntie or uncle Freezy Pop is gonna get you. Or see, the one thing is like I feel like, hi Mina, hey pretty girl. I feel like we have a pretty good like nibbling is pretty universally accepted as the term for a non-binary niece nephew situation, but or even just a gender neutral term. But we don't really have the same level of consensus about what to call somebody who is an aunt or uncle type relationship. Like there's like auntie or uncle, and both of those are terrible. So I don't know. Has anybody else heard one that isn't awful? I have a vague recollection that the founder of Trader Joe's was problematic in some kind of way. Yeah, that's fair. I got decreased kidney function and a stone right now, so it's time to float. Damn. Oh well, okay. So I'm sorry that you ran into somebody because you were going to a funeral, but ran into a trans friend I hadn't seen for a while. We were delivering flowers to the same funeral. In the middle of the church, they said, "Wait, is that the homosexual question mark referring to me?" And oh, your name, and hugged me. It was awesome. That's fun. Pibbling sucks for aunt uncle too. Yeah, there just isn't a good one. Mina is my friend. She's sitting on the floor. She's hanging out. I was kind of like not sure how she would take the fact that I just sit here and talk loudly to no one for like hours at a time. She's not too bothered by it. Hi, Mina. That's you. Do you want to see my orange? Do you want to smell my orange? That's an orange. I let her smell stuff because it makes me happy to see her happy. She's so fucking spoiled. She gets wet food like every day. She didn't particularly like the dry food that I bought her, so I bought her a different dry food from the same company. Just I was like, "Oh, so many cats have like chicken allergies. Maybe I should get the fish one instead." And she's like, "Okay, whatever." But she could still smell the chicken one because the chicken one is what I was feeding Mitternacht. So she could like smell the chicken one in like the old food container, and she was like sniffing around it a bunch. So I was like, damn, okay, I guess I got to get you a different food. Rip my wallet. So I'm gonna have to get rid of like an entire bag of food. What are you doing? Hey, hey. Thank you. Don't claw at things. Mina. What are you doing? Why? Why are you such a problem? Okay, good. You're laying on the floor. That's great. She's a kitten. She's still got kitten energy. She's still getting in trouble kitten wise. Bumping into other trans people in public is so good, very comforting. Yeah, like when we were fairly early here, we went to a store and I was like, "Hey, that person was trans, I think." And my partner was like, "Oh, so you think you can always tell?" And he was like joking with me about it. It was funny. It's impossible to spoil a kitty. Listen. She's definitely bossy. Apparently this is just what female cats are like. Is this just like what female cats are? Because I haven't had a cat that was a female that was actually my cat, like possibly ever. I've been around female cats before, but every cat that I've been like, that's my cat, has been a boy. Interesting. Hunkle? Yeah. How do you get views, quote, off your channel? Like if people were embedding it, maybe? I don't really understand how it works. I was just reading the chat. But yeah, maybe it's like people were posting clips of it elsewhere instead of linking to the original work. Fresh fruits and vegetables. Get 'em in your tummy. Here's a slice of orange for you. Actually, it's for me. In my friend group, we usually go with Enkel. Enkel instead of aunt or uncle, but it's not fantastic. Yeah, it's like I genuinely have not found a single one that's a placeholder for uncle that isn't dog shit. Jakanadar says, I will be honest, if I lived in your neck of the woods and they still exist, it's been over a decade since I visited the region, I would be hitting those family farmers markets for everything. Listen, the the main farmers markets are about to open. Some of them are opening like this upcoming weekend because it'll be the first full weekend of March. And you better believe that's where I'm gonna be on Saturday. Saturday morning, I'm gonna be I'm gonna be at the friggin' I'm gonna be at that farmer's market. I'm gonna be at that early in the morning too. I have no idea what's gonna be available in March. I mean, I did a little bit of Googling to see. This is one of those like questions I probably should have written down instead of immediately Googling, but because in the Willamette Valley, we don't have a full, like, true deep freeze over winter situation. That's why some tropical plants can live here. So I guess like I'm wondering what would be available in the March. I think that maybe like carrots that have grown over the winter, sometimes potatoes and onions and garlic can be grown over the winter and harvested in the early spring. Probably lots of like fresh spring greens, like probably like bean sprouts or like uh microgreens or that kind of shit. Um but I'm not sure what else is available this early in the year and I'm excited and I like the idea of basing some of my like meal planning off of what I can get at the farmers market. So I want to find out. We'll see. Excuse me. Bramley says my brother-in-law has a friend who wants to be called Ankle. I've heard that one too. I forgot about it though. I use uncle because there is precedent for uncle cis woman in my family. Ooh yeah, I had one of those. Like aunt cis man and uncle cis woman. Unca. Yeah. Oh my god, I can't freaking breathe through my nose, dude. Um, Sorry, I stepped away to get food and did not see the comment. So, Twitch politics is kind of ruthless. When you do not want to support something or someone, they will download the video, then watch it on Discord. Okay. So yeah, the question was like, if somebody, what do you mean by like watching someone's video off channel? Like, how would you even know this though? So Jakanadar says the Will and his channel, the guy who hosted the stacked debate against me, apparently his largest video was viewed from like a 10-to-1 ratio by someone downloading it and watching it on Discord with their community. They were laughing at him rather than with him. Why how could you know that? Like how would you know that the video was viewed a lot by someone who downloaded it? Like how does that metric come back around? Mersh, I was just thinking about you. Good to see you. There are also greenhouse farmers that might sell stuff over the winter. Yeah, I ended up looking into it, and I think there are some like indoor farmers markets slash like granges where I could hypothetically have been buying produce all winter. I think it's just a matter of like I will need to figure out what stuff they have available, and there might be some stuff that I still have to buy from Walmart, or like maybe fully make that transition to like not cooking anything out of season. I don't know. I'm not ready to commit to that just yet. This orange is not as flavorful now. Like I think I took a long time to eat this one. Life's been busy, but I'm fine. Good. Yeah. You're living in your tiny house now, or mm. Jack says, speaking to your question about the ratio, that's Will's own claim. Not sure about how accurate they are, but I did not think he would try to make himself look worse. Well, I do think that I don't remember anything about him, if I'm being completely honest. So I'm just kind of more making a statement about like what people would do. I'm not surprised if a person in that situation wouldn't pump up the numbers to make themselves look like more of a victim. But I don't know. Like, did he maybe just drop into one of the lives and see how many people were present watching the stream? Because that could be a way to tell. And then, like, if you're like, oh, there were 2,000 people, I don't know how it fucking works on Discord. If there were like a couple hundred people in the Discord live and he only got like a couple dozen views on the video, then I guess you could, call that a reasonable ratio. Reasonable in terms of like a reasonable guesstimation as to the numbers. I'm actually so glad that nobody gives a shit about what I do. Like, I have a small channel, and whatever. There's a limit to how many people are ever going to give a shit about what I talk about because it's so niche. But it also means that like I don't have a bunch of stalkers and psychopaths watching all my shit all the time. New job going well too. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Nice. Nice. It's going to be a really interesting year. I think it's going to be a really good, interesting year for like growth and trying new things and finally making enough money to save money, maybe at some point. That would be cool. What's everybody's favorite fruit? I don't know. I think raspberries. Raspberries are top tier. Don't get to eat them very often because they're expensive. Getting ratioed by a Discord server making fun of you is crazy if that's true. Yeah. I could understand why a person would be very upset by that. That's why I'm saying, like, I'm glad that nobody cares about me in that way. I don't think I have any haters that are that haterific. Maybe next year I will make enough money to save money. Me every year for the last 10 years. Yeah, yeah. I think I am actually getting to that point. It seems like. And, like, it seems like over the next couple of years, it's only going, like, my financial responsibilities are only going to be less and less. Okay. I'm gonna wash my hands. I'm gonna throw this stuff away and wash my hands. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Ah! Trying not to. Oh no. I'm dropping peel everywhere. No. Okay, fresh fruit time is over. Apricots are my favorite, dried or fresh. I have a bag of dried apricots right now. They're delicious. Hi, Mina. Bye. Raw bananas, baked strawberries, smoothied both is the goat. Bananas, I feel like optimal time is when they're still a little bit green. And I'm not like, I don't know. I'll eat a banana that's, older, but like especially if it seems like nobody else is finishing up the bananas. I have fond memories of blackberries where I grew up. There were wild ones, tastiest fruit ever. Yeah, not too far from where I live. There are, as far as I can tell, like wild blackberries that nobody gives a shit about. Like I even refrained from picking as many as I could have picked because I figured like maybe other people in the neighborhood are going to pick them and nobody did. And I also am pretty sure it's not a place where people spray. Like I don't think that there's a bunch of pesticides there. And anyway, just like rinse off your fruit anyway. But so I don't think that people avoid it because of pesticides. I think that I just live in a neighborhood where nobody gives a shit about it. So this year, I basically plan to harvest as many of the blackberries as I can. And even if I end up, if I'm getting too much for me to use in a week, like guess what? Just fucking put them in the freezer. And either I'll use them in oatmeal or smoothies, or my partner can bake something with them. But yeah, we had like fresh foraged blackberries last year it was my first time. I really like harvesting blackberries because it's very difficult for that to be for there to be any kind of lookalike. So it's like you feel like pretty fucking certain that those are blackberries. I've got wild blackberries growing right next to my new tiny house. Nice. I mean, I hope that they don't take over everything and make it impossible for you to get around because they will. But it's crazy seeing them like growing. They like the canes grow up and over privacy fences. And then they also like if they're growing right up next to a fence, they will also come up from the ground on the other side of the fence because they're like spreading through the ground. They're tenacious bitches. It's wild. But I'm so excited. Like I get to do it again this year. Do you know how to do jams, jellies, preserves? If so, they hold the berries much better than frozen. I am hoping to try it for the first time. I did end up getting some canning cans and like fresh tops and everything. And I downloaded the USDA information about how to properly can, and I've got several books that explain how to can. Frozen, you lose so much flavor. I've not found a way around it yet. Yeah. It's obviously not like the ideal thing to do, but if I have like maybe if I try a small batch and just do like a couple jars, because also once you pop the jar open, you want to eat it pretty quickly, so you don't want to like unless I'm not putting like any added preservatives in there, so you don't want it to go bad once you've started eating it. So, but maybe I'll do like a couple of small cans of blackberries and see how they turn out. And yeah, I mean it's fine if they lose some of their flavor, right? They're peaked at they're picked at peak freshness from basically my backyard. And so if they lose a little bit of their flavor, they probably started out with more flavor than a commercially grown blackberry. The problem with the blackberries as well is that the bears like to eat them. Oh, true. Yeah, then you've got like bears right next to your house. If I ever get my own house with a garden, I will simply plant both blackberries and mint and then let them fight over who can take over the garden. You're not going to get to enjoy your garden very much if you do that. You're going to be like, I can observe it from the second floor of my house and never go in it. My friend and I used to pick mulberries from the neighbor's yard when we were kids, and I have a weakness for cluster fruit because of that. Yes. Like raspberries are delicious. Raspberries are the worst because their seeds stick in my teeth. Hey, listen, I can understand it. Artemis, what's up? Gonna make chicken tortilla soup pasta with tomato. Yummy. Fresh fruits make my mouth tingly, but I'm a sucker for peach or pineapple in juice, dried or canned form. Yeah, there's some like enzyme that some people can have an oral allergy to. And then once you can it, it basically like kills that enzyme or changes that protein enough. Strawberry is the best berry, even though it's not actually a berry. Fair enough. My standard easy access fruit is raspberry or pear, but my hard to find favorite is starfruit or Japanese persimmon. I don't think I've had starfruit or Japanese persimmon. I am definitely in a phase of my life where I want to keep trying new stuff. I tried a lemon cucumber for the first time last year, and it was pretty good. It's pretty similar to a cucumber, you know, but worth trying for certain. And so that's something I'm excited about as well. Yeah, is getting to try new local products, and occasionally I'll go to the like Asian market and see what kind of cool stuff they have. I didn't end up buying any of the cool quirky stuff at the Asian market when I went there most recently because I had a very specific mission to get miso. Uh, Raspberries are great for jamming because you don't need to add any pectin. Does that not apply to blackberries? Am I going to have to get fucking pectin? I love how I get you guys started on food and you're like, yes, I will carry on about food. Have you tried durian? No, I have not tried durian, and I know that it smells like booty, and I'm not probably going to inflict that on myself or anyone I love. One time I had starfruit. I thought it was basically a fancy shaped pear. Nice. Love blackberries, but the Himalayan variety that's pretty much eliminated the native raspberry and blackberry plants from the coast. Turns out something adapted to the Himalayas can go pretty fucking wild in an easy place like Oregon, which is why we have such a problem with invasive plants. This is one of the easiest environments anywhere in the world for plants to grow. Yeah, that makes some sense. um, I am here for the plants, not the food. Ah, fair enough, fair enough. Jiffy, who said earlier that blackberries stick in my teeth, says I play Stardew Valley co-op with my partner, and she gets mad that I refuse to gather blackberries even there. But I gotta make a stand. I mean, if you're early in the game and you really need the money, like, you get late enough in the game and it's like not worth it. It's like literally not worth your time to pick up the blackberries. But that's funny that you stand on principle like that. I cheated and just had some garlic breads. Listen, you got to have a little bit of variety. A little bit of like not terrible food in your diet. I find that the Mediterranean type diet is very satisfying, both in like the variety of flavors that you get and with like how full it makes you feel through a day. But even then, I'm still like, this is one of the other terrible addictions of my life besides social media is like sugar and delicious foods. It's like, and it's the delicious and food that's bad for you is like right down the road. You can just go get McDonald's anytime. And if you're an adult and you have enough money to, sometimes it's hard not to do things like that. What are your feelings about pierogies? I've never had pierogies. I'm not opposed to the concept. I just don't know anyone who's Polish, in person at least. I've got like friends online who are Polish, but I haven't had the pleasure of being in their company for dinner. But I hear they're good. It's a fucking dumpling, right? It's a dumpling and it's a calzone and it's a pasty, right? Like how many different cultures in the world, it's a bao bun. How many different cultures in the world have created like put food inside bread, seal bread, carry food. Like that's what pierogi is, right? It's like, it's just like food inside of bread. Tonight's menu, jambalaya, trinkets, comfort food. Ooh, my partner mentioned jambalaya recently, and I kind of started Googling around for recipes, but I didn't end up coming to any conclusion about making my own recipe or purchasing the stuff to actually make jambalaya. I don't know. What's good in a jambalaya? Every great culture in the world has a dumpling. It's like every culture has independently invented fried food, dumplings, drums, a flute type instrument. Like every culture has their own version of these things. Hi, Rhodes. Rhodes says, sorry, I just got here. Is there anything in the world to be happy about? Every morning I feel like I keep getting beat down and that everyone else is winning and I don't know what to do. Yeah, we've been talking about that a little bit today, Rhodes. Honestly, I think for most of us, it's going to be like we need to get off the internet and start focusing on things that you do have control over. So, like even if it's a small win, just focusing on something that you need to do for yourself or, do something in service to someone else. But I do think a lot of it is just like a lot of this shit is out of our control. Do what you need to do in your community. If you're the kind of person who likes going to protests, then do protests, vote and contact your lawmakers and stuff. But like that should be something that you check in with like maybe a couple times a week and not every day. I can't eat jambalaya anymore because of my shrimp allergy. No. Did someone mention Louisiana food? Listen, I'm trying to incorporate more fish options. Like I was Googling earlier and finding out like I should be eating more seafood, but I don't want to exclusively eat like salmon and tuna because those have high mercury content. And so I'm like, okay, some of the days that I would normally get a packet of tuna, is there something else that I could add to it? And can I get more into shellfish in a way that's like easy and accessible? Not like the very first time I eat oysters, I'm going to eat a raw oyster. Like, okay, they sell cans of tinned oyster, smoked tinned oyster that's already cooked, so it's not raw, apparently. So I'm gonna get some cans of different seafood this week, and I'll try them out. I also did purchase some frozen crab legs last week, and I just haven't cooked them because I didn't have a meal planned. I was like, oh, I'll just do that like in the middle of the day on Saturday or something, and then I didn't do that. Byron, who is from Louisiana, says that the critical elements of a jambalaya are andouille sausage, chicken, pork, turkey, meats like that. Cajun ninja recipes tend to be good examples of stuff along those lines. Okay. Shoo, look up fish couvillon. Okay, hold on. Fish couvillon. A thick, rich, tomato-based Louisiana seafood stew. Originated as a Cajun/Creole adaptation of the French poaching liquid corbillon. Bouillon. It has evolved into a hearty roux-based stew traditionally served over white rice. Okay, so it's kind of like a jambalaya. Like, that seems like a jambalaya. Crawfish, whitefish, Cajun, hot sauce, bell pepper. This one uses catfish fillets, fresh tomatoes, tomato paste, and green bell pepper. Okay, so catfish fillet seems like catfish corbillon. I have a new therapist who's helped me realize I just need to focus on my survival right now. Things are very hard. Yeah. Been watching and reading older, i.e. 90s and 80s queer content, and that helps me feel better. Yeah, I got a copy of Leslie Feinberg's Transgender Warriors, and I haven't read it, but I got it from the bookstore, and so I'm thinking maybe I need to start reading more. Like, maybe I just need to aggressively shut off my computer when I'm not actively doing something with it. It just takes my computer 10 fucking years to boot up because of some setting I changed on the RAM to make it like more compatible with the motherboard. Like, it's running on the same frequency as the motherboard now, but it makes it take 10 years for my computer to turn on. Stone Butch Blues is pretty good so far. Yeah, the only version I was able to find of Stone Butch Blues is like a PDF, which is just rough. I just am not a big fan of reading in a PDF format, but I'll get over it someday. Tinned smoked oysters are surprisingly good, not nearly as offensive as what you would think a canned seafood product would be. Yeah, I also think I have a can of anchovies that I'm thinking about, like, maybe I'll just mix that into a salad one of these days. And something positive, your side shave is looking hella fine. Thank you. Listen, it's not as, I feel like I'm right at the point at which I should probably shave it again. And then I end up letting it go for another 2 months past this point usually. But thank you. I feel like I look a little like garbage today. I feel like I look a little running ragged today because I didn't sleep too good. But dude, oh my god. Okay, so I'm really fucking annoyed and I just need to get this out of my system. I'm supposed to do a sleep study because there have been a few times where I've woken up because I'm not breathing and I'm worried that I have sleep apnea. It's also possible that I just have like, I need surgery on my nose or something to fix like a breathing in my nose problem. But I forgot what I was saying because I saw what Shakespeare said. Congrats on your work with Progressive Victory. I hope you have fun. And good luck with they're trying to get a candidate. You know, they're trying to get a transgender person to run for governor, right, of Minnesota. So that's exciting. Good stuff. I was in the middle of saying something. I don't remember what I was in the middle of saying. No, it's probably not a big deal. It probably wasn't that important. All this food talk has made me shift to hunter-gatherer mode. I'm off to do so. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend, everyone. You are loved. Hell yeah. Septum deviation surge. Yeah. I think I might need surgery. Oh, yeah. But I'm supposed to do a sleep study. Okay. Supposed to do a sleep study. Thank you for reminding me what I was talking about. I appreciate that. The sleep study, I was sent like a device that I'm supposed to wear when I go to sleep instead of like going into a place. But the fucking device requires an app that my phone is too old to run. Like I can't download the app. I go to the Play Store and I go to open up the app and it's like, or I go to just download it and it says like it's not compatible with my software. So my phone that still works perfectly fucking fine in every regard, like the GPS still works fine, the like phone calls still connect, like the microphone and the speaker all work still. The screen is still fully functional, and like I don't even think I have a problem with the oleophobic part of the screen. Works totally fine, but like I have to get a new fucking phone in order to do a sleep study. Are you shitting me? Are you shitting my pants for me right now? So I'm really annoyed. I don't know what I'm supposed to do next. Like I emailed my doctor's office about it and I haven't heard back and I don't know if I will. So, because I'm in between doctors as well. Like I just started trying to find the right person. So I'm like at the clinic trying to like figure out who has open availability to take new patients and also has decent bedside manner and is going to be like thorough about approaching my whatever the fuck is going on with me. So yeah, I'm annoyed. And I don't know what I don't know what I'm supposed to do. It's Android. Unfortunately, I have a bone to pick with iPhones, even though like honestly in a lot of ways it would be better because I could also get a fucking Apple Watch. Apple Watch is supposed to be like one of the best watches on the market when it comes to biometrics. So if you need a watch to be able to check your heart rate and monitor your sleep and stuff, the Apple Watch is like the perfect thing, but I don't want to get a fucking iPhone. Just don't want to. Brown anchovies are really nice as an ingredient for that umami flavor like bacon of the sea. White anchovies are nice but themselves as the main protein of the dish or a supplement to the main. Yeah, that's I guess the question too is like with anchovies, because that is something that they have a lot of omega-3s, but I don't know how they have as much like protein. If I ate an entire can of anchovies, does that count as one of my like protein meat servings for the day? I don't know what APK means. APK pure? I do not know what that means. What if I got a phone and set it up and used it for the sleep study, and then I was like, I'm going to return this phone because it's not working for me? Like, you know, I'm not like opposed to getting a new phone in general. I've been wanting a newer phone that has a nicer camera and a nicer microphone on it so that I could use it for work potentially. But yeah, I just fucking it's annoying. I can vouch for the Withings ScanWatch for biometrics. Withings ScanWatch for biometrics. Oh, cool. It just looks like an actual watch, but it has like a little digital display. Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay, okay. That's kind of cool. Temperature tracking as well. Oh my god, for fucking $400. APK file is like the installer file for Android apps. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I appreciate you guys helping me try to solve my problems. It's you know, it's rough out here. It's hard to be a YouTube streamer. Got so many problems. I also had a heart monitor that I just was supposed to. I wore it for 14 days, dude. My skin is so red and like irritated from it. I feel like you can barely see it there, but this is like a really unpleasantly painful patch of skin that was under adhesive for 2 solid weeks. Um, the Play Store used to let you download the apps as their file format directly. That was a while ago, though. Yeah, I don't think there's. I mean, I guess if you're saying like there is an app that will then let you download the APK of an app off the Play Store or something. Oh shit, I need to turn in my library book. I have to mail back my monitor still. Listen, I got that thing sent out immediately. I was like, get out of my house. Been looking into Garmin watches. I also hear good things about Garmin watches. Yeah. I have lately, when I'm exercising, I have not been going by heart rate. I've just been going by like rate of perceived exertion. So I'm just kind of, trying to keep within a certain like feeling of my exercise. And I don't know if that's correct. Like, I don't know if I'm in the correct zone. I think for a little while I was actually overdoing it a bit. But it's like, is having the exact number going to help me per se? Because a doctor hasn't told me what my ideal heart rate range is. But maybe that's the kind of information that we could establish after reviewing my 2 weeks of heart rate data. Had my mustache electrolyzed today. It was so painful and expensive, but worth it. I found out that there is a hair removal place, like in, not too far from where I am at usually. Or like, between here and there where I run my errands to. I just don't have that kind of money to throw away right now. But this is the kind of thing. It's like, yeah, maybe I won't be able to like start saving up immediately because I have stuff that I want that is like, once I get it, I don't need it. I don't need an ongoing purchase. Like if I get laser hair removal on my legs, maybe I will not end up with like completely zero hair, but it will be less hair enough that like I'm not worried about it. Like I'm not noticing it or whatever. It's a sensation problem for me. It's not like I'm trying to be sexy smooth legs or whatever. It's just like I do not like the feeling of having hair on my legs. So, but like once I get hair removal, I don't need to buy it again. uh but it's so far down the list of things that is like, oh, one-time purchase, or like, ooh, pay for it for 6 months and then you don't need to do it again. It's like, yeah, it's still like super low down on my list of things. Okay, APK. I'll look up APK Pure to see. I'll figure it out later. I've had good luck with Walmart burner smartphones. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'm gonna try this trinket thing before I try to buy a whole brand new phone. But I might also talk to my doctor and be like, or maybe I could maybe call the company. I don't know if there's a phone number, but like, okay, I know I was asked if I have a smartphone before they sent me the sleep monitor, but I'm like, I feel like it's kind of fucked up to put people in this position where I'm like, my phone literally is perfect. It works fine. But because of like a lack of software support, could I flash new software on my phone? Could I like jailbreak my phone and put like a new operating system on it and then be able to use apps like a normal person? The electrolysis was very expensive, but it's since electrolysis is permanent, I want to use it for my facial hair because it's dysphoric, legs and all that. I can just shave. It's $35 for 15 minutes, and it took 5 hours just for upper lip, but at least it's permanent. Yeah, undoubtedly. It's not cheap, and it's fine. Like, I get it. Like, you know, I don't mind that they're charging for that service. I feel like they're probably overcharging. Like, are you trying to sincerely tell me that it costs $35 a minute or $35 every 15 minutes to pay a technician to stand here, and that it costs $35 per 15 minutes to run this machine? Like, I doubt it, but whatever. Okay, I appreciate you bringing the experience, Trinket. That makes my life a little bit easier. You have to root an Android device to flash a new OS over. It can be useful, but it can also brick your phone. Damn it. I mean, no time like the present to develop some skills. I was just saying that, so I have like my electrical skills, and Jimmy was like complaining about his new ukulele and how it has a micro USB port instead of a USB-C. And he was like, oh, and he was like, can I change it? And I was like, yeah, you could change it easily. And he was like, oh, well, easy for you to say, you're an electrician. And I was like, I don't even do electronics, and it would be so easy to fix. And it just, like, I don't know. It was just really funny to me that, like, that's the kind of thing that I would be like, yeah, first of all, I probably wouldn't bitch about it because who the fuck cares? But whatever. I understand that it's inconvenient. So, but yeah, you can just change it. And then I was like, oh, I could probably really easily do electrical stuff, like electronics level electrical stuff. Soldering is hard. Listen, I enjoy that kind of ridiculous precision work. You're an electrician? Yeah, so I went to trade school for a year. I learned everything I needed to learn, and then I worked as a solar installer for like half a year, and then I worked as a residential electrician for like half a year or maybe more. And then I realized that I'm too disabled to do that kind of work. Like the physical, like it's a lot more physically demanding than you would assume. And I just didn't know that. I like it from a theoretical and technical perspective, and I'm good at it from that perspective. But yeah, it was just like army crawling through attics and not being provided with adequate PPE in situations where I'm like, I'm pretty sure that there's asbestos everywhere in this attic. Yeah, and like I was being put in situations that I shouldn't have been put in, where I was being expected to work on live equipment in my first year as an apprentice, and it just wasn't cool. So yeah, it was rough. And it's also not something that you can do part-time. So I'm like, if I wanted to still work as an electrician and gain experience, there just isn't really any such thing as a part-time electrician. Like you can't work only 2 or 3 days a week. It's just like basically unheard of in the trades to have like part-time work. So, which sucks ass if you're like, I'm disabled and I could do this job. I just could only do it like 3 days a week. Fucking sucks. Because I could also be making hella good money. Like recognizing that I was making hella good money, and it was like, not a situation where I had to pay my own self-employment taxes and bullshit. Like, it was definitely a sweet gig. It made sense for me to go to school for it. And like, shit, maybe I will go back eventually and learn like electrical engineering. Like, maybe I would have been better in a position where I'm like designing electrical systems. Maybe I should ask Justin about that, because I think Justin's like an electrical engineer. I'm not sure what kind though, but yeah, so maybe like shit, yeah, maybe I'll go back to school at some point and work as an electrical engineer, and I will have benefited from being a field electrician, because there's little stuff like when people are designing electrical systems, they might not account, like when they're designing the electrical system and pricing out the materials and figuring out how much materials the job needs. Some things that get missed is like, you're looking at a two-dimensional floor plan and you're like keeping track of like, okay, so from the breaker box to this outlet, there's this much feet of space. But you also have to account for the fact that the breaker box is probably near like face level and the outlet is down by the floor. Or like maybe this is going up to the second floor. So you have to account for like the amount of additional wire that you'll need for the risers situation or the like step down. So yeah, I think I could benefit from it. Honestly, that is not a bad idea. Maybe I should put it on the list of like things to explore the potential of, like how much more education would I need in order to do something more on the technical side of electrical that could maybe still be like a desk job or maybe part-time or something. So yeah, I don't know. I wired my own guitars. Yeah. Soldering is when my tics finally chill out. Nice. You get the focus and your tics finally calm down. That's good. I have tremors from CPTSD. If I try to do electronics like that, it will turn out bad. Yeah, understandable. Yeah. I know not everybody's got the like precision hands and stuff. And maybe I don't either. I don't know. Finding suitable part-time work while disabled is so fucking rough. So I have to say, I'm glad at least right now that I'm in a position where like my work for myself was like kind of getting me by. But now when I'm working for Jimmy as well as working for myself, I feel like, okay, I can start making some progress here, but I don't want to like stop here. I definitely don't want to let myself stagnate here and think that, I'm not going to continue growing and developing my skills, or I'm not going to continue looking forward. Like, okay, so if right now, I make like between $2,000 and $2,500 a month working for Jimmy. And then I make like $600 on Patreon and however much from donations, and then like a couple $100 a month from YouTube ad revenue. So if I want to make more money eventually, like let's say I'm comfortable right now or even able to save up right now, but I want something like a house, or I want something like I'm going to raise a baby or something, which we haven't decided on. I'm just like talking about like the being open to future plans. That shit's expensive. And like, with being a producer and stuff at the line, I'm like, is this something I want to be doing like permanently for the rest of my life? Probably not. Like, I'm definitely going to be cool with it for at least a few years. And I'm like interested in this creative endeavor that is like, working on my channel and things. And I've got like thoughts on changing things about the channel. Like I'm not settled. I'm still trying to figure out what the right balance of things to do is. So I think right now, just like steady upload schedule, pay the bills, posting clips from the line, that's going to be the baseline. And then, yeah, I want to like watch more movies and talk about them on the Musing Moss channel. If that doesn't end up picking up eventually, then I will not be able to continue doing it as far as like how much money or how much like time and effort I'm putting into it. So yeah, and I've got like even the distinction between like streaming versus how much time I spend working on videos. I've been pondering like cutting back a lot on my stream schedule, like just cutting it all the way back to maybe only like twice a month, so that I have more time to like focus on other kinds of content creation. And it's, again, not necessarily an issue of time, but rather of like unmedicated ADHD and struggling with the intrusiveness of social media into my time. But yeah, I'm still definitely not done like refining what I do or trying new things and everything. So yeah, and like when I'm talking about like into the future, like if it's 10 years from now, do I want to still be on here talking about shit all the time? Like, would I be in a better, would my hobbies and every other aspect of my lifestyle be better served by just being an electrical engineer? But yeah, it's a whole bunch of shit. And like, there's different ways that I want to expand and improve my skill set too. I guess it's like a matter of just deciding which path I'm going to specialize in, because I have been thinking like, yeah, I would love to take, maybe some film class type thing, maybe just one film class to learn a little bit more about like lighting or color grading or whatever. And maybe like a graphic design class so that I could design my own logos instead of relying on trying to commission an artist and having a hard time figuring out who is a bot and who is a real person. And so it's like, if I'm going to be going to classes, like what are those classes going to do? And I haven't really looked into the whole electrical engineering thing, or like what those kind of jobs look like, or what kind of expansion into the future. As far as like apocalypse skills, because let's be real, that is a big part still of my mindset on a lot of things, is how is this going to serve me if there is like an economic collapse or like a social collapse at some point? Then like my TV skills, as it were, are maybe not going to be as useful. Because, like, I don't know, if there is no internet, then how would I disseminate my information? Do I become a town crier, right? Like, do I start hosting meetings in person where I convey the news? Like, I don't know what the fuck kind of skill that is for in the next 30 years, right? When, like, climate change continues to accelerate and, like, the supply chain gets more heavily restricted on like a numerous different, like gas prices are about to go up because of what's going on in Iran. And I think that probably also has effects on diesel prices. Like I think because they both come from the same stuff. Like they're both part of the same type of refining process. So it's like, okay, if the price of diesel goes up, then the price of all food goes up. And then there's shortages, right? So in that sense, I think the practical and the theoretical skills of being an electrician could end up being more beneficial to like the local community and to myself, like I'm already at a level of skill where I can change out a light switch or a light fixture, or I probably could wire up something new. I might have to like double check my books or like watch a YouTube video on like, let me update myself on what size wire I should be using and things like that. And that's the thing about like the practical knowledge, is keeping it in your brain as you continue to work, because like I took my journeyman test. I guess it might have just expired, but like I could have hypothetically gotten my journeyman license in Kansas if I had just kept working for 2 years. And now I would have to start that whole process over again. It would be a 4 years of training before I got my journeyman license. And, well, actually, it's only 4 years of training if you're able to do the certain number of hours. That it's like 4,000 hours, I think, or something, some way that breaks down into 4 years if you're doing it full time. But if I can only do it part time, then that's going to take longer, and I'll have to take the test again. You'd be very busy as any kind of engineer or scientist. Well, when I say engineer, I mean like in this case, like creating the electrical blueprints. Like I guess, like I don't know, I feel like an architect cannot be the person who designs every aspect of the house, including like piping, including like deciding where the plumbing goes. If I could work on a team where we were doing that kind of stuff, and I could basically do like architectural design for electrical systems. But, maybe this is one of those things where I need to Google around later and be like, what are the potential things? When I was let go from my most recent electrical job, they were like, yeah, you might do better in that kind of more theoretical environment. Like they recommended to me like a computer program where you can design electrical systems. They're like, if you can get good at this, then you could get a job. And I don't remember what they said. So Lily went out with a new makeup look, a bit Faye inspired. Hell yeah. I have been so not into doing makeup recently. I feel like my eyes are just not working with me. They're being difficult. So I ended up getting some false eyelashes just to be like, maybe my problem is the eyelashes and I need to just do eyelashes and then not try to wear eyeliner. And then I haven't put them on because I don't really understand the glue situation. I think your YouTube streams could be transferred to public speaking skills. I do have public speaking skills. So I think you're right that that's transferable. That combined with, I think you're very charismatic, you would have the potential to rule a post apocalypse wasteland. IRL, min maxing, charisma, and public speaking are the most important skills. Yeah, I'll be on the democratically elected council in our commune. I don't know. Like, as far as like actual making money skills, like, did you know that in a lot of place, mayor is not a paid position? Like you just have to spend a bunch of time like replying to emails and doing a bunch of shit constantly, and you don't get paid for it, which is crazy. Doesn't that isn't that fascinating? How basically like internships and being the mayor in a city where the mayor doesn't have a salary, it's like only accessible to rich people. Isn't that crazy? The idea that like you can only be mayor if you like have a passive income stream, like you own a business or something. Glue situation, put it on very thin and then wait a couple minutes until it's tacky. Does it go, okay, so this is going to be a silly question, but do they go above your eyelashes? Like when you stick them on, you stick them on like where eyeliner would go above your eyelashes? Because I feel like I saw a video where someone put them on their waterline and I was like, yikes. What phone do you have? Galaxy S9, I believe. It's an old one, but it's a fucking workhorse. They go where eyeliner goes. Okay, cool. Good to know. Thank you. um, Waterline adhesive is crazy. Yeah, that felt like it would be insane. Electrical engineering would be a solid transition for a journeyman level electrician. My brother was going on a similar path before deciding to focus on music. Yeah. Data centers are springing up everywhere to support AI infrastructure. They definitely need engineers for that. Also, they are making strides with quantum computing. They are monsters in the amount of electricity they require to operate. Yeah, I don't think I would ever willingly work at an AI place. Like, that's the problem, right? If I work for a company that designs electrical systems for anyone who is a client, then am I going to then have to design um, a data center's electrical things? Like, that's a problem, is like, of the, that's the one good thing about working for myself is there is no accepting money from anyone or doing anything I don't want to do. Um, if I got offered a sponsorship, then I have like complete control over whether I take that sponsorship, and there's no like person who says do it whether you want to or not. But I'm just thinking about those kind of, future situations of what kind of life do I want to be living in a few years? Which I guess it's a little bit of a privilege to be able to do that, because I feel like so much of my time has been spent just going like, I hope that I still have my head above water in 5 years. So now I'm like, okay, well, if I have a little bit of money to spend or a little bit of money to save, or, times are a changin', or I'm able to develop new skills or something, then yeah, it's good to think forward a little bit. You might find it boring as fuck or you might love it, but you could transfer your electrician skills to network infrastructure work. It's a bonus that data centers have the best air filters in the world other than biohazard labs. True, true. Working on those kind of systems, you might be working with data centers, AI, and the government, including military industrial complex things. Unfortunately, that is what pays really well. Yeah, but the point is to develop the skills, and then the government is going to fall apart on its own in like 5 to 10 years. Or, sorry, more like 10 to 15, 20, I guess. But, yeah. Because, yeah, again, it's all about like, how am I going to help my community thrive and survive when, like, it's harder to get electricity or it's harder to get food. Just do raccoon eyes. Let's bring the scene look back. This is supposed to be the roaring 20s, right? I guess so. I guess so. I just have tiny eyes with very heavy, like hooded lids, and they droop. So I just got a lot of things working against me for looking cute with the scene eyes. Do I need to like get some like things to clip into my hair so that I have like the stripy, bright colored like sheets of hair in front of my face? Some billionaire or other will still be around when the government crashes and will want engineers to work for them unless the whole grid goes down. That's fucking true. I wonder if it's possible to make air filter towers to catch pollutants and help air quality. Um, that is an interesting question. Do you mean outdoors? Possibly. I think people usually just do like plant a tree initiatives when they're trying to clean the air outdoors. But that's an interesting concept. I feel like if you have robust HVAC systems in buildings that have filters that are catching the irritants instead of like expelling them, then hypothetically, I think the way that it works with HVAC systems, and please correct me if I'm wrong, do they do some amount of transfer between the air outside the building and inside the building? Or maybe it depends on the HVAC system. I didn't do HVAC. I did. It was imparted upon me that HVAC workers wish that they were electricians and that there's a lot of bad blood between the two groups. But that was coming from the electrical perspective of maybe the electricians feel a little bit of like I'm better than you kind of thing towards the HVAC guys. But yeah, it's like, I guess in some situations it would be more efficient to take like, for example, if you're using air conditioning to keep it cold or to keep it cool, then passing the same inside air through over and over again is probably more efficient than drawing in 90 degree air from outside and then cooling it down. Is it basically like everywhere that's indoors you should be opening the windows every once in a while? Is that do we need to be able to do we have to manually get fresh air in our house? I mean, obviously I don't have central air here, so yes, I have to open the windows when I want fresh air. I think at least one scene stream is warranted. Listen. Oh, did somebody donate earlier and I just didn't add it to the donation goal? Jesus, it's like the end of the stream, but I'll add it now. Sorry, I fucking wasn't paying attention. I said thank you and then I moved right on because I was busy talking. It's fine. We don't have a specific thing that I'm doing if we get to $100 anyway, so but I'll just add it there. Thank you. I think China made some kind of tower with plant material to catch pollution. It worked, but the issue was constantly changing the material. Ben says, seriously, though, that sounds like carbon capture. It's more efficient to just not pollute in the first place. Yeah, I do lean toward the idea that we shouldn't be just sticking on like let's kind of let's try to mitigate the disaster by capturing more carbon. It's like, no, we need to dramatically change our lifestyles. And that means like that the people with the gigantic factories need to like make the decision to stop creating so many fucking bullshit objects that we don't need. Some HVAC systems do bring in okay, some HVAC systems do, I'm not sure which one you mean, but positive pressure HVAC systems constantly push air outside to keep the bad stuff out, like germs and poisons and such. Yeah, I was thinking like if all buildings have HVAC systems that are like purifying the air as it comes in and as it goes out, then that could hypothetically mean that a neighborhood where all the buildings are fitted with really robust air filtration systems, then that could sort of passively clean the air outside as well. But again, we need to focus on like zero emissions, like zero emissions. Regarding fresh air, I live in a new building that is so well sealed that my CO2 monitors hit 2000 if my partner and I are in the same room and we don't crack a window. Jeez Louise. I would kind of like to get a carbon dioxide monitor. I don't think I need it. Like, we have a pretty big house. We open the doors and windows pretty often. I mean, like a pretty big house. I mean, we have a decent amount of space for how many individuals live here, but and like, yeah, I love opening the windows. I think I have allergies to dust and dander, and that's why I can't breathe through my nose. I think that's a problem, so. A nice thing about learning electrical engineering could be going into the focus of distribution systems and generation, applicable both before and post-apocalypse. Right, like I could, you guys remember last year when I got on such a tear that I was like, I really want to start working in environmentalism. I could work in environmentalism as an electrical engineer. Like, I could be the person who like designs or maintains like solar panel farms or wind farms or whatever. Like, that's or or I think we do have hydroelectric dams up here, I'm pretty sure. And like that, so there is an aspect of where my interests and my previous skill sets do kind of correspond. So at that point, it's just a matter of like, if I want to pursue the solar punk future of maintaining a similar lifestyle, maybe not exactly the same, because I do believe in degrowth to an extent. Like, I do think we need to scale back some aspects of our lifestyle. I could, check that out as a potential, like, perfect intersection of things that I care about and am good at. Maybe I misunderstood what you were asking. What are you trying to accomplish with filtering HVAC? Okay, so somebody earlier was talking about making like a tower outdoors to catch pollution and like clean the air in our environment, like in our cities. So maybe there's like a building every couple of blocks. There's like an obelisk every couple of blocks that's like doing carbon capture. And I was like, if the air is being sucked in from outside, or if it's being expelled from inside, or both, or whatever. And I recently watched like a video about the engineering of like how ancient peoples made ice in the desert, and like how it, there's a tower up top that catches the air and it pulls down through and it goes underground and then it passes over the ice, and they use evaporative cooling and all these kind of things. So I'm like, if the air filtration systems are good enough and they're like cleaning the air in the neighborhood so that the air indoors is clean also, and if any of that air is being transferred back to outside, there could potentially be, we could engineer like a passive system of filtration. But then it occurred to me like, oh wait, it might be that these systems are actually designed to keep recirculating the air inside because of the whole like it costs more energy to heat up cold air or to cool down hot air if it's hot outside, whatever. I read an article recently that humans evolved to handle CO2 levels of 200 to 300 parts per million. The normal outdoor level now is 400 parts per million. Indicators in human blood now indicate we are holding more CO2 in our bloodstreams with a certain level of toxicity, which has implications for the development of children. 1,000 parts per million is considered too high indoors, and 800 parts per million is common in most apartments, etc. these days, which is considered a safe level. But we have more to worry about with high carbon levels than just global warming and climate change. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's part of why, maybe that's contributing to the whole COVID brain damage problem is that we all have like a very mild hypoxia. Who knows? I really think that it's going to vary from place to place. Like, the normal outdoor level. Okay, well, the normal outdoor level where? Like, and I guess to some extent, the whole point of it being global climate change is that it differs or is that it like trends all the same in all different places. But I now live in a state that has like, what is it? Like 80% of the state of Oregon is covered with trees. What percentage of Oregon is covered in trees? Okay, Oregon is about 50% trees, and what percentage of Kansas is covered in trees? Versus like 5%. So I feel like it's gonna necessarily differ. Where like if you live literally in a forest, there's probably a lot more oxygen than if you live in New York City or even like in the Midwest in a state where there's only 5% trees. Although to be fair, like grasses and stuff also create oxygen. I know that they capture carbon really well. I don't know what's the comparison? What makes more oxygen, trees or grass? Okay, according to the bullshit AI thing, okay, yeah, okay. So the first link says an acre of grass produces more oxygen than an acre of trees. Oh shit, well maybe I moved somewhere that has fucking less oxygen because it has more trees. I was very surprised about this high CO2 level in my apartment. We started with an air quality monitor for the bedroom because I was curious, but then when I saw those CO2 readings, I made one for every room. Getting better about ventilation made a big difference to our energy levels and moods. Damn, maybe I will have to keep that in mind. Get like one CO2 monitor and just check every room and make sure we're getting fresh. Like, we probably do need to get more fresh air in here. I read somewhere that grass does more for oxygen production than trees, but trees are better for water drainage. Hell yeah. I wouldn't put much stock in the idea of tons of people being low-key hypoxic. Yeah, I was mostly riffing. But it's the kind of thing that, like, if the problem continues, then it probably will have an impact. Like, if the level of CO2 continues to rise, and CO2, like, drops to, it's heavy, it drops to the floor, so we're going to be in it. Anyway, I'm glad that you're all here to think about the future with me. I think it helps sometimes to like cope with what's going on, to be like, what are some goals that I have in the future and what are some things I can do right now to achieve some of those goals? If you're waking up in the night having trouble breathing, a CO2 detector may not be a bad idea. You can order one from Amazon for $35. If your CO2 level is above 1,000 in your apartment, it could be causing trouble. Yeah, I will say the bedroom is the one place we don't open the window on a regular basis. So it probably is the worst as far as getting fresh air. So, yeah. Also, there are ways to improve the air quality and scrub the CO2 levels if that is a problem in your home. I do want to start getting each room like a nice little filter. We have like each bedroom or office is like smallish. So I figure we could start getting like little quiet filters for each room, and that will, probably help us a lot. Like there's a lot of mold in Oregon. This is the time of year where the dust and dander numbers are crazy high. So, and then I could get like a slightly larger one to put in the living room because the living room's bigger. Yeah, these are all things that you can do when you can fucking afford it, when you have money. My post-climate crisis stories focus around plankton, algae, and I can't remember the third thing my brain is putting. Anyway, marine life for O2 production. Yeah, and of course the ocean produces a massive amount of our oxygen, and I live closer to the ocean now than I used to. So maybe that's another benefit where I get more oxygen here. I don't know. Anyway, that's the end of the stream. I am tired and I have to do the After Dark production tonight. Who's going to be on After Dark tonight? I'll give you a little rundown of the schedule for the month of March. Okay, so in March, I am going to be on Takis this week and next week, and then I'm not going to be on Takis the next following 2 weeks. I will be producing all the regular shows that I usually produce, except for the last weekend of the month, which I'm taking off for my birthday. And I will be on with Jimmy every Thursday on Calling It Now, which is in the time slot right after Takis. And I'm not making any immediate plans to change how much I'm streaming, but do not be surprised if that amount changes in the future. And just so you guys know, regardless of what other changes may or may not happen between now and then, it's very likely that in June, I will be probably not streaming at all on Sundays because I'm probably going to have to take over Arden's producing on Sunday. So just be aware that there's probably going to be a pretty significant schedule shift in June. So, I don't know what's going to happen between now and then because I'm going to try to sit my ass down and really figure out what the fuck is going on with my schedule. But and then yeah, so for my streams this month, I'm basically planning like the same typical kind of stream schedule. So yeah, anyway, that's it from me today, and I hope that you all have an okay start to your week. Don't let those Mondays get you down. Don't let those Mondays make you feel too blue. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.